KNBC TV 4.
Live in Southern California, this is California News at 11.
Under a hurricane warning, we're asking that you voluntarily evacuate the island.
People on the East Coast fleeing the wrath of Hurricane Emily, expected to hit very soon. Good evening, everybody. It's 11 o'clock, and I'm Paul Moyer.
And I'm Colleen Williams, in for Kelly Lang.
Emily is gathering strength as it heads toward land, packing winds of up to 100 miles an hour. And tonight, the storm has been upgraded to what they call a Category 2 hurricane, between 95 and 115 miles an hour, meaning very capable of causing extreme damage. Tonight, Hurricane Emily is located about 200 miles southeast of Cape Hatteras. That's in North Carolina. It is heading west-northwest at about 9 miles an hour tonight, expected to turn more toward the north sometime early tomorrow. They are tracking it in Coral Gables. So was Drew Levinson. He's been tracking the storm, the latest tonight, and a live report from Nags Head, North Carolina. Drew?
Good evening to you from Nags Head, North Carolina. Emily continues to move toward the North Carolina coast, but it now looks like it will be Tuesday night before it hits land. As you can see behind me, the winds are starting to pick up now. Emily is now packing winds of 95 miles an hour. We are now waiting for the storm to hit. It's like a ghost town in Nags Head. The stores are closed. Many are boarded up. There are only a few cars on the streets. The police really have little to do right now.
We're just on standby right now.
But police were busy earlier Monday as they tried to control the thousands of residents and tourists evacuating and heading for higher ground.
We do have a mandatory evacuation, and that is for all of their counties.
On the beach, the wind continues to pick up. Waves are getting higher and higher as Emily approaches.
Actually, I want to stay and watch it, but I think we're leaving.
For some of the old-timers, this is just another storm, and they're not going anywhere.
You're always concerned, but I mean, we've seen them before, and you know, it don't really faze me that bad.
And Emily is expected to gain momentum as it comes over the Gulf Stream waters, the warm Gulf Stream waters. Also, it looks like the hurricane will hit around 8:30 tomorrow night. That is during high tide, the worst time for a hurricane to hit. In Nags Head, North Carolina, I'm Drew Levinson reporting. Now back to you.
All right, Drew, thank you. Meantime, search and rescue experts from Southern California are heading east tonight to help just in case they're needed when that storm hits. Firefighters from Los Angeles, Santa Monica, and Orange County are being sent to North Carolina and Virginia. They are urban search and rescue experts, and they'll be ready if Emily hits hard. And this is what those people there are so afraid of, a repeat of this, Hurricane Andrew, the most destructive hurricane in U.S. history. It's been a year since it hit parts of Florida, New Orleans, and the Bahamas. And also still very fresh in people's memories, the devastation of Hurricane Hugo. Hugo was the last hurricane to hit the Carolina coast. That was back in 1989. And Hugo caused tremendous damage in South Carolina, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands as well. Paul.
Colleen, keeping an eye on Emily right here, too, from Southern California. Fritz is doing it. He's on Hurricane Watch. He's in the Channel 4 Weather Center now with the latest on Emily and her progress. Fritz?
Paul, we have the latest pictures just from a few minutes ago. Emily doing some of what we thought she would do, increasing strength as she hit the warm Atlantic coastal waters. Right now, winds blowing at near 100 miles an hour and could reach 120 before she makes landfall late tomorrow, about 8:30 tomorrow night. The eye is 220 miles southeast of Cape Hatteras, moving west-northwest at 9 miles an hour. Tomorrow morning, she should make a slight turn toward the north. The North Carolina Outer Banks will get heavy rain and wind. This is not a populated area, and folks there are fully prepared for bad sea storms all year long. They should be prepared for this with hurricane warnings posted for Bogue Inlet, North Carolina, north to the Virginia border. We're watching it all night. We'll be the first on the case tomorrow. Our regular weather segment in just a few minutes. Paul, Colleen?
Okay, thank you, Fritz. Keep an eye on it. Turning now to the Michael Jackson story tonight. The superstar is, of course, still in Singapore. He is on tour, but word came down today that he canceled another concert, raising some questions again about his health. The stadium in Singapore was jammed 1 hour after the show was supposed to start. Those people sitting there got the news.
We should be informed that Michael Jackson has been taken ill and he is not able to perform tonight.
Some 45,000 fans disappointed and angry, and they told us so.
Yeah, really disappointed, man. They shouldn't have done this to us. I mean, they made us wait so long, and then in the end, they told us he was sick.
Michael Jackson reportedly now suffering severe migraine headaches and dizziness. The concert was rescheduled for Wednesday. In the meantime, back here at home, for the first time, the Jackson family met the media, and they spoke out about the child abuse allegations against Michael. The family called a news conference to promote an upcoming television special, but everybody wanted to ask about the investigation and the allegations. Michael's brother Jermaine read a statement to reporters.
We would like to take this opportunity when our family has come together in unity and harmony to convey our love and unfailing support for Michael.
I don't believe any of this stuff that's being written about him because I raised him and I know him.
Family says Michael is, quote, a victim of an attempt to take advantage of his success. Connie?
Meantime, word tonight that Michael Jackson's investigation has expanded its scope. Last week, we learned that police had served search warrants at 2 locations, Michael's condo in Century City and Michael's ranch in Santa Barbara County. Now tonight, we've learned of a 3rd location, this glamorous hotel in Las Vegas. Patrick Healy's in the newsroom with the latest on these developments. Patrick?
Colleen, Paul, as the days go by, the pressure mounts on investigators to make their case against Jackson or exonerate him. This is the first time they've gone outside California, at least the 3rd time they've executed a search warrant, but this time it appears they came up empty-handed. This the latest target of investigators here inside the Mirage Hotel Casino, a 3,500 square foot 3-bedroom suite known as the Michael Jackson Lanai, where the pop star stays when in Las Vegas. Here, Jackson had hosted the family of the boy making the child abuse allegation. According to a confidential Children's Services report, the boy described getting in bed with Jackson while they watched a scary movie, The Exorcist. The caseworker wrote, "Minor said he was afraid and felt comfortable sleeping in same bed with Mr. Jackson, wearing sweatpants and pajamas, respectively." Local authorities were notified of the search by 2 LA police investigators. None will discuss what LAPD was seeking, but the local DA's office said they left virtually empty-handed.
I don't know whether or not they found anything of significance. To my knowledge, nothing of significance was removed.
Perhaps only an advertising brochure. It took just half an hour. A hotel spokesman said the investigators seemed to lose interest after being told other guests had stayed in the suite since Jackson's last visit. As for police records, the police affidavit was sealed as they were for earlier searches at Jackson's condo and Neverland Ranch. Investigators are still going through some of the photographs seized there. Meantime, police have been interviewing at least 4 children befriended by Jackson, including young actors Corey Feldman and Macaulay Culkin, in addition to Wade Robson and Brett Barnes, who told Channel 4 News they each at times slept in the same bed with Jackson, but maintain he never did anything improper. Now, the latest salvo into the arena of public opinion is a leaked tape recording. It's described as a phone conversation between the boy's father and stepfather, the father's voice threatening to humiliate and destroy Jackson if he does not get what he wants. Jackson's representatives have maintained the father tried to extort Jackson. The father still declines to comment. Paul and Colleen.
All right, Patrick, thank you very much. International news tonight, a big story. A sudden move toward peace ironically sparked some violent protest in the Mideast. Details coming up.
Also a massacre in the streets, witnesses blaming police.
Another outbreak of food poisoning at a popular restaurant. Once again, meat is being blamed. Stay tuned for the Channel 4 News.
If it happens downtown, it happens on 4. 4.
I'm very thankful for Walmart, CedarWorks, and the opportunity to live in this beautiful area.
Walmart's Buy America philosophy has made the difference in Adams County. We have 225 jobs because of it.
We keep building, keep adding due to Walmart.
They've given a lot of people in this area jobs, and this area really needs jobs.
When you got a product like we put out, we can compete with anybody.
Bringing it home sure helps our hometown. When I see Walmart trucks rolling down the road, I know that they're carrying American products.
Palestinians fighting Israeli police. It's been an all too common sight in the Middle East over the years, but tonight, news of an historic move toward peace with a new Middle East peace plan in the works. Our John Beard is in the newsroom right now with details on the important new developments there. John?
Well, Colleen, finally a fragile plan for peace in that part of the world where peace is wanted by many and obtained by few. Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin said the time has come to take a chance for peace. And with that, the Israeli cabinet approved the outline for ending 26 years of Israeli military control in the occupied territories. There was immediate and sometimes violent opposition to the plan tonight in the streets of Jerusalem from right-wing demonstrators and from Jews who may lose their homes in the West Bank. Here's how the plan would work. First, over the next few months, Palestinians in the occupied Gaza Strip and the West Bank town of Jericho would be allowed provisional self-rule. Then, if that works out, the rest of the West Bank would gradually be transitioned into self-rule, freeing up Israeli soldiers and, more importantly, relieving one of the most tension-filled situations in the Middle East. But critics of the plan want new elections soon, before what they think is a bad proposal can be implemented.
We want a peace we can live with, literally live with, not a peace that would simply be a prelude to the next war.
There is also opposition to the peace plan from some Palestinians who say it doesn't go far enough. Nothing in the Middle East comes easy, and there are no guarantees. But tonight, there is at least an olive branch. Paul, back to you.
All right, John, thank you. 20 homeless people were massacred outside Rio de Janeiro tonight, and lots of people claim that police officers were the triggermen. Witnesses claim that dozens of hooded gunmen waded through the slum area, firing at anything that moved and setting several fires as they went. This massacre happened only 1 week after 4 policemen were killed in the same area. That area is infested with drug traffickers. The traffickers have been accused of ordering the death of the police officers. All the bodies were displayed in coffins today. Grieving family members had to be assisted out of the area. The Brazilian Minister of Justice has ordered a full investigation.
In the Pacific Northwest, another outbreak of E. coli poisoning a 5-year-old Washington State girl. She is the latest victim there. Altogether, 7 people have gotten sick after eating at the Sizzler restaurant in Seattle. Of course, this is not the latest outbreak, and it's not nearly as bad as the one last winter. That's when hundreds of people got sick, most of those cases linked to the Jack in the Box. The 7 new victims all ate at the salad bar at the Sizzler in Washington State.
None are hospitalized. There have been no cases of HUS, the kidney failure problem that affected a number of kids earlier this year.
Now, at this point, investigators speculate that melon at the salad bar may have come in contact with juices from some contaminated meat. So far, none of the victims in the new outbreak has been hospitalized.
Colleen, controversy involving the Tournament of Roses tonight. It's in the news once again. Many activists are claiming that people who bring us this annual Rose Parade are racist and sexist when it comes to hiring. Just last week, the Pasadena City Council voted to renegotiate its contract with the tournament, urging them to offer more equal opportunity. And tonight, Jesse Jackson spoke out against the alleged racism at the All Saints Church in Pasadena. Jackson said the activists would retaliate with a parade of their own if the Tournament of Roses doesn't change its hiring practices.
There will be a counter parade for justice and fairness, declaring an end to racism and sexism, and it will not be a doodah parade.
9 members of the Rose Tournament's executive committee are all white men.
Coming up next here, a woman claims the surveillance tape you're about to see proves she was spied on in a big department store.
Also, if hurricanes weren't enough, the Midwest still getting plenty of this.
And that elusive Hollywood madam, Heidi Fleiss, surprises everyone at a party and then surprises everyone in court. Stay tuned.
Hey, it's must-see TV Thursday on NBC. Like I want to stay late at the office. Like I want to stand in that endless supermarket line, paper or plastic. I gotta get home. On Thursdays, I just want to watch Mad About You, Wings, Seinfeld, and Frasier.
It was cleavage. I couldn't look away.
Once you see somebody naked, never look at them the same way again.
Looking at cleavage is like looking at the sun. You don't stare at it.
Don't be alarmed.
What, you're mad because what? Because I sampled the fried potato of another woman? She's a wild one. She's wearing me out.
Must-see TV, NBC.
On the next Entertainment Tonight,
Marilyn!
The search for Marilyn Monroe continues. 90210's Jason Priestley tells why he's desperately seeking Marilyn on screen and off.
There's a fascination that's been there ever since she was, at the height of her popularity.
Plus, she's doing more than solving mysteries. By casting Madeline Rue in Murder, She Wrote, Angela Lansbury's helping a friend fight a traumatic disease.
We wanted an actress of her stature
And we got it.
On the next E.T., the hottest from Hollywood, tomorrow at 7.
Pictures from a security camera, a woman claiming they prove that she's been spied on in a major department store. What's going on here? Beverly White in the newsroom tonight with more on this. Bev?
Paul, a security system installed by JCPenney last fall to protect its merchandise may have provided the smoking gun in a lawsuit that could prove costly to the retail giant.
People often envision videos like this one when they think of store security cameras. This tape enabled loss prevention personnel to catch an entire family stuffing a bag with stolen merchandise. Catherine Hernandez says her former employer, JCPenney of Concord, California, used similar technology, but she claims security guards were video voyeurs and spied on women's fitting rooms.
I think about all the customers I've waited on who've used those fitting rooms. I think about all the employees who have used the fitting rooms. I have used the fitting rooms. And it scares me to think that there's a strong possibility that maybe somebody could have seen me without any clothes on.
Hernandez claims she got this surveillance tape from another former employee. Cameras followed her for several minutes, focused the entire time on her chest. Hernandez's lawyer says it's high time the law caught up with technology.
It's important that we have a recognition of the possible abuses and have policies and laws in place to protect against it.
Hernandez claims security even drilled peepholes in the fitting room ceilings.
I felt violated. You know, I can't believe that people have no respect for anyone to do that to someone like me.
JCPenney officials at corporate headquarters in Dallas have declined to comment on the pending litigation. They would only confirm the existence of those peepholes. No word yet on how they got there. Colleen?
All right, Beverly, thank you. A lot of weather going on all over the states tonight. Not only Emily on the East Coast, but also flooding in the Midwest. And Fritz is in Weather Central. Keep us up to date. Fritz?
Yes, ma'am. Our weather just beautiful, below normal, mild August that we had before all of the monsoon moisture started last week, but some thunderstorms happening inland tonight. Eastern Mojave Desert will show you that. Let's go back to the Midwest right now. It is hard to believe that this scene occurred there today, but our desert storms of last week found their way to the country's soggiest ground, Des Moines, Iowa. Another wave of Midwest flooding happened today as 5 more inches